Emily never expected silence to feel so heavy. When she married Daniel Carter, she knew life would come with memories of another woman, the mother of his son, Noah, but she believed time would soften the sadness. What she didn't expect was how quiet the house would become every evening, like something important was missing. Daniel worked long hospital shifts, often coming home after midnight, leaving Emily and Noah alone for hours. At first, Emily thought the boy was simply shy. He spoke politely, answered questions with short words, and always stayed in his room unless called. But after a few weeks, she began to notice patterns that made her chest ache. Every night after dinner, Noah carried his plate to the sink, washed it carefully, dried it, and put it away without being asked. He never left a mess. He never asked for help. He never waited for company. He did everything like a small adult who had learned not to depend on anyone. Emily offered many times to help him or do it herself, but Noah always smiled gently and said he was fine. There was no anger in his voice, only acceptance, as if this was simply how life worked. In the mornings, she saw him packing his lunch alone, lining up his sandwich, fruit, and juice neatly in his bag. When she tried to step in, he thanked her but said he liked doing it himself. He walked to school even when it was cold, waving quickly before turning the corner. When other kids played outside in the afternoons, Noah stayed inside reading or doing homework. He wasn't sad in an obvious way. He was quiet in a way that felt learned, like someone who had practiced being strong too early in life. Emily tried not to push. She didn't want to scare him away. But each day, her worry grew. One evening after dinner, she heard the soft sound of water running again. Noah stood at the sink washing dishes, sleeves rolled up, standing on his toes to reach better. The sight hurt more than she expected. A child shouldn't look so responsible. A child should be laughing, making messes, asking for help. She leaned against the doorway and watched him for a moment. His face looked focused, serious, like he was afraid of doing something wrong. When he finished, he dried the plate carefully and placed it back where it belonged. "Sweetheart," Emily said softly, "you don't have to do everything alone." Noah looked at her, surprised, then smiled politely. "It's okay, Mrs. Carter. I'm used to it. Used to it." The words stayed in her mind long after he went to his room. That night, Emily sat on the couch staring at the wall, listening to the quiet house. She thought about how much Noah had already lost. His mother was gone. His father worked non-stop to support them. Somewhere in between, this boy had learned that being quiet and helpful was the safest way to exist. He wasn't trying to be strong for praise. He was trying not to be a burden. Days passed and Emily kept noticing small things. Noah folded his own clothes, made his bed perfectly every morning, never asked for snacks, even though she kept the pantry full. When she offered him cookies or fruit, he always asked first if it was okay to take one. It was like he was afraid of taking up space. One afternoon, Emily came home early from the store and noticed light coming from Noah's bedroom. It was later than usual, and he should have been asleep. She walked quietly down the hallway and stopped outside his door. The light was low, and she could hear soft breathing, almost like someone trying not to cry. Her heart beat faster. She knocked gently. "Noah, are you okay?" There was silence for a moment. Then she heard a chair scrape softly against the floor and footsteps coming closer. The door opened slowly. Noah's eyes were red, and his face looked tired. "I'm sorry," he said quickly. "I wasn't doing anything bad." Emily knelt in front of him. "You never have to apologize to me. I just wanted to check on you." He hesitated, then stepped aside. Inside his room, the floor was covered with old photo albums. Pictures were spread across his bed. A woman with warm eyes holding a baby. Birthday parties, family trips, hugs frozen in time. "My mom," Noah whispered. Emily sat beside him slowly, careful not to scare him away. "I couldn't sleep," he said. "Sometimes I look at these so I don't forget her face." "You won't forget her," Emily said gently. His voice shook. "I miss her every day. Tears filled his eyes, and this time he didn't try to hide them. "I don't want Dad to worry," he said. "He already works so hard, so I try to be good. I try not to need anything." Emily felt something break inside her. This wasn't a boy who enjoyed being independent. This was a child who believed love had limits. "You don't have to be perfect to be loved," she said softly. "You don't have to be strong all the time." Noah stared at the photos, wiping his face. When Mom got sick, he said quietly, "People were always busy. Dad was always tired. I learned how to do things myself so no one would be stressed." Emily's chest tightened. This child had grown up too fast because he thought it was his job to make life easier for everyone else. She reached out slowly and placed her hand near his, giving him space to pull away if he wanted. He didn't. "You are not a problem to solve," she said. "You are a child who deserves care." Noah swallowed hard. "I bet you're not my mom." "I know," Emily said, "but I care about you." The room was quiet again, but this time it felt warmer. After a long moment, Noah nodded. "Okay," he whispered. Emily helped him gather the photos back into the album. She tucked him into bed and turned off the light. "Good night, Noah. Good night." Emily, it was the first time he said her name without the formal distance. As she walked back down the hallway, Emily felt tears in her own eyes. She finally understood. Noah wasn't choosing to be alone. He believed that being alone was the safest way to love without losing. That night, Emily lay awake thinking about everything she had seen: the dishes, the packed lunches, a quiet room, the photo albums. The way he tried to make himself small so others could breathe easier. And in the quiet of the dark house, she made a decision. No child in her home would ever feel like love had to be earned. No child would ever feel invisible again. She didn't know how long it would take. She didn't know how hard it might be. But she knew one thing clearly. From that moment on, Noah would never face life alone again. The next morning, Emily woke before sunrise. The house was quiet and soft light filled the kitchen. She moved slowly, not wanting to wake Noah, but with a new purpose in her heart. She mixed batter, warmed the pan, and poured small circles that turned into golden pancakes. She shaped them like stars, smiling at how uneven they looked. She added sliced strawberries and a little syrup on the side. It wasn't fancy, but it was warm, bright, and made with care. When Noah walked into the kitchen, rubbing his eyes, he stopped. Is something special today?" he asked. Emily turned with a smile. "Every day is special." "These are for you," she said, placing the plate in front of him. Noah stared like he wasn't sure if he was allowed to touch. "Them? For me." "For you," she nodded. He slowly sat down and took a bite. His face changed instantly. "They're really good," he said softly. "I'm glad," Emily replied. From now on, mornings are our time. Something small but important shifted in that moment. After breakfast, Emily walked him to school for the first time. They talked about his favorite subjects and the books he liked to read. Noah looked around like he wasn't used to having company. When they reached the corner, he stopped. "You don't have to come every day," he said. "I want to," Emily answered. He nodded, hiding a smile. That afternoon, Emily waited for him with snacks ready. They sat at the table together while he did homework. When he struggled with a problem, she didn't rush. She explained slowly, letting him figure it out. "I got it," Noah said proudly. "You always can," Emily replied. For the first time, he looked confident. Days moved quickly, but each one felt fuller. Emily invited Noah to help cook dinner. He stirred the soup while she chopped vegetables. Sometimes they burned toast. Sometimes they laughed too hard. The house that once felt silent now carried warmth and sound. They started movie nights. They sat on the couch with blankets and popcorn. Noah picked the movies, usually funny ones. Emily pretended to be scared during exciting parts, and Noah laughed every time. "You're not really scared," he teased. "Maybe a little," she joked. He laughed louder. Slowly, Noah changed. His shoulders relaxed. His eyes sparkled more often. He spoke freely instead of carefully choosing words. He began asking for things, help with school projects, extra. Milk, even bedtime stories. Emily gave all of it happily. One evening, Daniel came home early. He expected the usual quiet house. Instead, he heard laughter from the kitchen. He walked in and froze. Emily and Noah were covered in flour. Cookie dough was on the counter, and the oven timer was ringing. "Noah just beat me in a cookie contest," Emily said dramatically. "No way," Daniel laughed. Noah grinned wide. "Mine are better." Daniel stared at his son. That smile had been gone for years. Later that night, after Noah went to bed, Daniel held Emily's hands. "I don't know what you did," he said quietly, "but my son feels alive again." Emily smiled softly. He just needed someone to stay. Tears filled Daniel's eyes. "Thank you for loving him. I already do," she said. From that moment, Daniel made changes too. He adjusted his shifts when possible. They started eating dinner together as a family. On weekends, they went to parks, played games, and took small trips. One Saturday, they flew kites near the lake. Noah ran across the grass laughing, while Emily and Daniel watched. "He hasn't laughed like that since his mom passed," Daniel whispered. Emily squeezed his hand. Weeks turned into months. The house became a place of warmth instead of silence. Noah no longer rushed to wash dishes alone. He waited until Emily joined him. Sometimes Daniel helped too, turning it into a game. One night, while washing plates together, Noah spoke quietly. "Emily." "Yes, thank you for staying with me. I'm not going anywhere," she said. He nodded like he needed to hear it. Later that evening, Noah knocked on Emily's bedroom door. "Can I come in?" "Of course." He sat on the edge of the bed, holding one of his photo albums. "I still miss my mom," he said. "That's okay," Emily replied. "Love doesn't disappear. I was scared if I loved you, it would mean I loved her less." Emily's heart softened. "You can love both," she said gently. "There's room for that." Noah took a deep breath. "I think. I love you." Emily's eyes filled with tears. "I love you too, Noah." He hugged her tightly, not quickly like before, but strong and sure. From then on, everything felt different. He called her Emily at first, then sometimes Mom by accident. Each time, he looked nervous, but Emily always smiled. "You can call me whatever feels right." Life wasn't perfect. There were sad days. Days Noah missed his mom badly. Days Daniel felt tired. But now they faced those days together. Years passed faster than anyone expected. Noah grew taller. His voice changed. He joined sports, made friends, and dreamed about college. Emily cheered. At every game, Daniel helped with projects late at night. The boy who once tried not to need anyone now leaned on the people who loved him. On his high school graduation day, Noah stood in his cap and gown, searching the crowd. When he saw Emily and Daniel, he smiled wide. During the ceremony, students were asked to thank someone who changed their lives. Noah stepped up to the microphone. "There was a time when I thought being strong meant being alone," he said. "But someone showed me that real strength is letting people love you." Emily felt her chest tighten. "She didn't have to care about me," Noah continued, "but she chose to. She cooked with me, listened to me, stayed when I was sad, and made our house feel like home." Tears ran down Emily's face. "I wouldn't be here without her," Noah said. "She's my mom in every way that matters." The room filled with applause. Emily covered her mouth, crying openly. Daniel hugged her tightly. In that moment, Emily understood something powerful. Love doesn't replace what was lost. Love grows where pain once lived. And sometimes the smallest choice to sit with, someone to listen, to stay, can change an entire life forever. Noah ran to them after the ceremony, hugging them both. "We're a family," he said proudly. Emily smiled through tears. "Yes," she whispered. "We always have been."